Are you dealing with a legal issue you would love to resolve? There is help. Welcome to The Law Show Sacramento, brought to you by TravisBlackLaw.com. Join us to create the best path forward for you. Now, here's your host.
Hi, I'm your host, Kimberly Henrie, and I'm here with Travis Black from Travis Black Law. And today we'll be talking with Travis about what to do if you are involved in an auto accident. Now, before Travis joins us, just a reminder that if you have questions or require assistance, you can reach Travis at TravisBlackLaw.com, and you can join us on Facebook at Facebook.com/TravisBlackLawShow. Good afternoon, Travis, and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Fantastic. You're in the full swing of summer and getting out and about. I just returned from a long road trip. Fortunately, everything went well. We know that, I just heard statistics recently that 97% of traffic accidents are driver error. So it's pretty common that you might get in an accident at one time or another, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Travis, why don't you enlighten us? When you get in an accident, after the shock has worn off, or maybe while you're still in shock, what do you do at the scene to make sure everything goes smoothly?
Well, the first thing is make sure that you're safe. I mean, if you're out in the middle of an intersection and your car is drivable, you don't want to be in a position where you're going to get hit by other cars. So try to get your car into a safe place. If it won't drive, then maybe the best place to be is sitting in your car. It may be getting out of your car and going and standing on a corner. But always make sure it's safe. If it's at night, make sure your lights are on, your emergency flashers are on. So the first thing is be safe. There's a lot of times where people have been involved in an accident and then they get seriously injured or killed milling around after the accident.
Oh, wow. That's something that we don't really think of often.
No. Well, and think about it. You're not really, you're dazed, you're maybe hurt, and you're not thinking, and you just step out of your car and get hit by another car. So
Right.
Think before you do anything and be safe.
Right. And what steps do you need to take at the scene and after the accident?
Well, let's break that down. At the scene of the accident, you've made sure you're safe. The very next thing is critical, is witnesses don't wait around very often. So if you're involved in an accident and somebody pulls up next to you and says they saw it, get their information, because there's a good chance they're on their way to work or they have to pick their children up, and they're not going to wait around. They're not going to give you information. So try to get witness information. That is critical. The next thing is exchange information with the other driver. And what I see in my office is people don't know what to get. And what they need to do is they need to get the information from the other driver as far as his driver's license information goes.
Okay.
Phone numbers, addresses. They need to get registration information. Who owns the car? They need to get insurance information. What's the name of the insurance company? And the policy number. Critical.
So basically the things you need if you're registering a car, you need to have all of that at an accident as well.
Right. And the law in every state requires you to have your driver's license and your registration and proof of insurance. So just remember what you have to have in your car and ask for that information and give it to the other side so they can copy it down also. The next thing is we all have cell phones. So the first thing in fact, maybe the first thing you want to do is, after you know you're safe, call the police, call the highway patrol. If somebody's injured, call 911 and ask for help. Get help rolling.
Does that apply to any level of accident? Do you always call the police?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Unless you're in a parking lot, they're not going to come.
Right.
But if it's out on the roadway, ask for it. In a lot of jurisdictions, they won't come unless there's severe property damage or somebody's injured. They'll tell you if they're going to come.
Okay.
But the neat thing we all have on all our cell phones is we have cameras. Start taking pictures. And I have this little thing. I tell people, take a picture from every angle you can dangle. So if the cars are in the intersection, walk each corner of the intersection and take pictures of the cars. Take pictures of the other person. Just take pictures. You can never take too many pictures. Especially take pictures of the other person's damage to their car as well as the damage to your car.
Mm-hmm.
If there's debris on the roadway, which happens a lot, you're going to break headlights out. Take pictures of the debris. We call it the debris field, but take all that. You just want to be able to completely document what happened.
So many times we expect that the authorities are going to take care of all of that for us.
They're not going to do
Mm-hmm.
that. They have a form, a police report. They're going to take down everybody's information, but they don't take pictures unless there's a fatality or real serious accident. They're not going to take pictures.
Okay, so you've taken your pictures, you've gotten information, hopefully taken care of any injuries on the scene. What's next?
Well, if law enforcement comes, you always want to cooperate with them 100%. But one of the things, even if you think you're at fault, don't admit that you caused the accident. Just tell them the facts, just the facts. If you have any pain, and this is critical because insurance companies will often say, well, you didn't complain of pain at the scene, and they'll use that against you. So if you are feeling anything, if you're anxious, if you're sore, anything, tell the officer, you know what, I have to tell you my neck hurts.
Mm-hmm.
My back hurts. I have a severe headache. Make sure they document that. But again, cooperate 100% with law enforcement. And they're going to ask you for the same thing, your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. Always have that ready for them.
Okay.
If you've collected, oftentimes law enforcement won't get there for 10, 15, 20 minutes. If witnesses have left and you've collected the witness information, give that information to law enforcement.
Excellent. It's like, you're giving us just this little toolbox. It's not difficult stuff. It's just stuff you need to remember and understand that it's your responsibility to document and understand what's going on rather than expecting someone else to take care of it.
Right.
Yeah, very good. So after you wrap things up there at the scene, is there anything else, before I move on, is there anything else that we need to remember?
I think after you've left the scene,
Mm-hmm.
if you're hurt, you should seek medical treatment.
Sure.
If you think you need to go to an emergency room, go.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't think you need an emergency room, at least that day, call your doctor. Now, if it's after hours or it's 4:30, obviously you're not going to get in. But at least call your doctor and leave a message. Hey, I was involved in an accident. My neck's killing me. I'd like to make an appointment. Once you get home and you've had a chance to relax, this is a time that you need to start taking pictures of your car, if your car is drivable. So if you've driven your car home, take pictures. And what I tell people, and this is important, is if you're sitting in a chair and I take a picture and I'm standing up, it looks different than if I'm sitting in a chair taking a picture of you
Mm-hmm.
sitting in a chair. And what I'm trying to say is take a picture. Every picture you take standing, take one kneeling. Mm-hmm. Take pictures of your car from every angle. If the seat has broken, seatbelt issues, take pictures of those. If your car is being towed from the scene, take a picture of the car. Again, take as many damage photos as you can. Take a picture of it hooked up to the tow truck. So again, after you've left the scene and you're home, oftentimes this is when you're going to start feeling pain. Mm-hmm. You may not feel pain right at the scene. Once you get home and the adrenaline is starting to dissipate, you may start having pain. That's when you need, again, if it's really bothering you, go to the emergency room. Mm-hmm. If it's at night, the next day, call your doctor and make an appointment.
What about your insurance company? When do you call them?
Thanks, Kim. That's very important, too. I would call them as soon as possible. If you're at the accident scene and you're waiting around for the police to show up or a ride or a tow truck, and you can call your insurance company, call them. They may say, hey, let me give you some more questions to ask. They may help you. So you want to call your insurance company. And we'll talk about insurance companies here in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a good thing to notify them immediately.
And what about if you did drive your vehicle home, or if it's a repairable problem, is it wise to get that repaired right away before insurance has a chance to sort things out, or what's this?
No. Well, no one's insurance is going to pay for a car until they've had a chance to examine the damage.
Mm-hmm.
But that again, if you call your insurance company, they may tell you, you know what, we're going to have it towed to, and they'll make sure that it gets towed to a certain body shop, or maybe you can tell the tow truck driver that. Listen to them.
And what about, this is something I have experience with, having been in having had a couple of accident situations, I've talked with the other person's insurance company as much or more than I've talked with my own. Is that the right thing to do? What if the other insurance company is in contact with you?
Kim,
did I do it wrong?
You didn't do the right. You did it wrong. And if you think about this, on television when we watch TV shows and cop shows, and the police officer is reading somebody their Miranda rights, you have the absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Mm-hmm. I will guarantee anything you say to the other person's insurance company can and will be used against you. The claims adjusters are taught to be kind and compassionate, and they get you to say things, and they'll be used against you. So you, in all likelihood, will get a phone call from the other person's insurance company. And what I highly recommend is all you do is you get the adjuster's name, their telephone number, and the claim number. Every case is assigned a claim number and an address. And say, you know what, I'm not feeling very good. I don't want to give a statement right now. If they want to know where your car is, if they know that they're at fault, they may say, well, we'd like to take care of your car. And you can say, the towing company has it, or it's been taken to so-and-so body shop. Don't give them any more information. At most say, I don't feel very good right now. I'll call you. You don't need to call me. Just don't talk to them.
Okay. That's good advice. So you're injured. So you go home and you make that appointment with your doctor and go get your injuries checked out. What other steps do you need to take then in conjunction with whatever case you might have or follow-up concerns?
Well, the first thing, and I want to back up just
Sure.
a little bit, it's extremely important that you do whatever your doctor says.
Okay.
There's a little adage that most insurance companies and juries, and it just makes common sense. If you hurt, treat. If you're not hurt, don't treat. And if you have big gaps in treatment, the other side is going to use that against you. Now, let's go to what you're talking about, a case. Mm-hmm. If you were involved in an accident and it wasn't your fault and you're hurt, contact an attorney.
Okay. So get some help.
Right. And the reason behind this is insurance companies are allowed to contact you as often as they want to contact
mm-hmm.
you. They can call you. I've had cases where my client has said, oh, the insurance company called me 3 times a day. They were constantly calling me. Well, the law says, and it's this way in every state, if the insurance company learns that you have an attorney, it's against the law for them to ever talk to you again. They can only talk to an attorney. And if you think of it this way, getting in an automobile accident is stressful. You've got all these questions and worries. Well, if you hire an attorney, he takes care of all those. And what I tell my clients is, you know what? Now that you've hired me, you only have one job to do: get well.
Mm-hmm.
And we handle everything. We handle the car. We handle the rental cars. We'll talk to the insurance company. We coordinate and make sure that you're going to doctors and going to the right doctors. That's our job.
Is there other? And it's good to know that you're there for that, because having gone through that myself, it's a huge relief to let somebody else kind of help you along those steps. Is there other times other than an injury accident that you would want to get an attorney involved?
Well, we'll talk about that. If you've been involved in an accident and the accident is your fault, you ran that red light, mm-hmm. or 85% of the accidents that come into my office, my client was stopped at a stop sign or traffic light and got